Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp. Today we've got our monthly score roundup for the reviews that we've done for the month of February, it would be, wouldn't it? Just past. So we only actually reviewed 7 games last month because we did a few other bits such as performance reviews, patch updates or reviews and some DLC reviews. So what we'll do is we'll go through the 7 games and then we'll mention some of that at the end and give you a brief up-to-date as to what was going on with those.
Let's get into the list.
The first game then, a game that I reviewed, and it's called the Turing Test. Now, this was a first-person puzzle game, basically, whereby you are on a space station on one of Mars's moons, I believe it was off the top of my head, and you had to solve certain puzzles to move on. Very much like games like the Talos Principle or Portal as well. Yeah, absolutely. So you had like a gun that would move bricks towards you, and then you had to place them elsewhere to move on, and sometimes you needed to move one place and then move it somewhere else. Whilst a very good game, it did get quite repetitive quite quickly. It showed its hand very early, and although it did mix things up towards the end, which was unexpected and welcomed, it then overused this new mechanic so much that it became repetitive again straight away, you know?
Annoying.
So a good game, but just a bit repetitive, and it got 73%.
Okay, next up then we've got a review from Jace Glover, and he's actually just done another review for us that's not out yet from NIS, so
Lovely.
There you go. And he reviewed Hero Land.
He did, yes. So Hero Land is quite an interesting premise, this one actually. So you play, it's set in an amusement park that's based around heroes, and you play as like the tour attendant, and you go on the quest with people that are going into this fun park, this amusement park, and you have to give them advice as to how to take their turn. So it's like a turn-based battle strategy game, but it just has this unique twist. Jace really enjoyed it. He said the writing was fantastic, very humorous, although again another game where repetition started to set in after a while. Having said all that, his review convinced me to buy the physical version. So yeah, you made me spend some money there, Jace. I picked up the collector's edition and it will be in my next physical pickups video.
Lovely.
This game scored 74%.
Next up then we've got Ash of Gods. It looked very much like the Banner Saga, and I was really keen to play this one. It was like it in some ways, and it kind of dropped the ball in other ways. There were some mechanics that were just a little bit odd and just didn't work. And actually, when you get a game like that, one of the things you don't tend to worry about are the controls. But the controls were so odd. It genuinely took me a long time, and I looked on some of the Reddits and people were like, I've played this game to completion and I still make mistakes with button presses.
Wow, dear me.
So that's just poor. Other than that, the translation is slightly wonky. Still, having said all of that, it's still a good story overall, and the art style is absolutely beautiful. So if you can get over those things and find it on sale, it might be worth picking up. I gave this one 75%.
And you can kind of see the bump in quality from these next games. These are all quite high scores. And the next one is Samurai Shodown, which was our most recent review. Now this of course is a reboot of a classic series that started back in 1993 in the arcades and on the Neo Geo as well, of course. Very, very good. A fantastic fighting game. Lovely art style. Maybe doesn't come across as well on the Switch as other versions, but you know, that's to be expected, to be fair. Still looks great. What I didn't like so much about it was I felt the story mode was a little archaic.
Right.
What I mean by that is if you look at things like the new Mortal Kombat games...
I was going to say, you said that, didn't you?
I did indeed. When they rebooted that series, they went all out with the story. They created this whole new lore and they told a wonderful story. This one's still very much, fight this person, get a vague cutscene, fight this person, get nothing at all, fight this person, It's just a bit outdated.
Yeah.
But irrespective of that, very, very good game. 82% it's got.
Alright, next up then is a game called The Dark Crystal, based on the popular Netflix TV series and the old... Now, the guys that invented this were the same ones that created the Muppets. It's the guys that do the Muppets, and then the game has been created from the Netflix show.
Right.
I actually really liked it. I kind of knew what to expect. I wasn't expecting something as good as like Final Fantasy Tactics or anything like that. I enjoyed the turn-based combat. What I will say though, I mean, in my own defense, is I almost completed the game, and as you get towards the end, it gets more strategic. Early on, you can just get away with blitz through, cheese. Later on, new mechanics come in that flesh it out, particularly with the character development. In that regard, I liked it and I gave it 83%.
Nice one. Right, next one then, and this is Rune Factory 4 Special. Now this of course began life as a 3DS game. I think it was back in 2012, and it came to other regions in the subsequent years. Now this never got a physical release in Europe, and it was a game I always wanted to play, so I was quite happy to see it come to the Switch. A fantastic game, so it follows the formula that these games have over the years, which is it mixes things like Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, it's a spin-off of those games, with almost like in some weird ways, like an ARPG like Secret of Mana. You have the fighting sections as well, you go into dungeons and whatnot. I really enjoyed it. What I would say is that the graphics do look quite dated now. Obviously it's had a bit of a sheen, it looks a bit more polished, and it's in high definition, but it still shows its age. If you can look past that, the humour, the wit, the charm, and just the basic gameplay are very good, and it got 84%.
My last one is the Metro Redux bundle. Now, I loved these games back on PC, but I never got to play Last Light, and I said to Glen, can I do that one? Because I really wanted to cover Last Light, basically. And the ports are incredible. They've actually created their own resolution scaling technique, it works brilliantly. You don't see any of the blur that you usually get.
Oh, nice.
You don't notice those shifts between resolutions. It's a great port, really nice. The thing that I liked about it as well was how good the gyro controls are. It's so easy to get headshots and things like that. And the stealthier aspect of Last Light for me appealed a lot more than the first game, but they're still both really good titles. I think I gave this one 86%. Lovely. And then I think the last game was one of your reviews as well.
2 Point Hospital. So this is our highest scored review for the month. This is a spiritual successor to Theme Hospital, of course, and it has some of the people that were involved in that game were involved in this. Most notably Mark Webley, who was the main man behind Theme Hospital, as far as I know, the producer. And it had the artist and the musician involved as well.
Nice.
It's very much like Theme Hospital. If you enjoyed Theme Hospital, just go buy it now. It's that good, you know what I mean? It's got a 3D environment this time where you can move the camera around 360 degrees as opposed to kind of the static view of Theme Hospital. Has the same humour, the same funny diseases that you have to cure, that same addictive gameplay loop. What it does need, and what is coming in a free patch at some point soon, the end of this month, is a sandbox mode.
Oh, nice.
But all that being said, this got 87%.
The last few little bits for me then are for me to wrap up my performance reviews and DLCs. We had the Dead Cells DLC that got reviewed. I said that was excellent, well worth a purchase. It's only a few pounds. Dead Cells is amazing. It is more of the same, and if you like that, then, well, buy it, well worth it. The other thing was the Warface. It's a good game. It's nice to have something like that finally on the Switch. I really use motion controls, gyro controls a lot, and they are twitchy as anything.
Right.
For me, they're too twitchy, so yeah, for me, no. And the only other one for this month is The Witcher, which I did a performance patch review, and then I used the M cable to do some bits and bobs on that. I mean, what can you say? We don't really need to say much more about it. They've done such a good job with the port. I'm really starting to want that Switch Pro, because even with all this stuff, to my eye, especially now that I'm playing Kingdom Come at the moment on PC, there's such a vast difference in quality. So, brilliant job they did. Overall, it's been a good month.
Has been a good month, yes. We've had good reviews, some very good games there, and a couple of other little bits and bobs as well, and I will stick the links to all of those videos in the top pinned comment. Big thank you to our patrons as always, of course, for your continued support, and to all of you for watching our videos.
Nice one. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers, guys. See ya!
See ya!